Hi, my name is Jessica Ramos, and this is my discussion post for Module 10, Why I Want to Be an Educator and How You Will Serve as an Advocate for Your Students. So my two ideas that were influential in choosing my career was my childhood and my recent job. When I was younger, I was always put in charge of all the kids in my family, like my cousins and my siblings. Because I was the oldest, I wasn't busy. I had to take care of them when everybody else was working. I love being around my family, so I didn't mind taking care of them. I always wanted to be a teacher since I could remember. It's just like a passion of mine ever since I was like in elementary school. Like just seeing teachers teach, and as me as being a student, I don't like when I was younger, I just loved the whole aspect of school and teaching. That was just something that I really liked. I knew I wanted to be a teacher, I just didn't know what kind I wanted to be. When I found my job that I have now, which is a before and after school program in my area, I had applied and I fell in love with it instantly. I love the kids, I love the program, and I loved how the program kind of went into related into school. So like when school's obviously out, it still continued because I got to help them with homework, and I was just kind of like a mentor as well when it came to like school issues that they had. Like the school was really communicating with us and told us like issues and what we can do to help the kids. So I really liked how the program was run and how we were really in with the school. I was put actually to work with a special ed student. We worked really well together. A lot of people were surprised that me and him kind of clicked because he was very difficult to like work with. I had a difficult time trying to find somebody, especially after school, because he was in the after school program with me, and it was kind of hard to find somebody that can work with him during the after school program. And they had a really hard time. Special ed kids have in that program had aides, and they couldn't keep aides for him. They would like leave and they would not come back, and then because we didn't have an aide, we had somebody had to be watching him, and so I was put in that position to watch him, in which I didn't mind at all. I actually really enjoyed it, and because of that, I actually realized that I knew I wanted to be a teacher, but the one thing I was struggling is what kind of teacher I wanted to be. And then because of him, I decided to become a special ed teacher. Especially in one moment when one of his teachers, the one main teacher that worked with him during the school day, came up to me and she had told me that I had a real gift working with him because, like I said, he was a very difficult kid back then. Especially now he's older, so now he's more like outgoing and is really good with kids, and he's not as difficult to find an aide for. But back then he was a little bit difficult, so they were really surprised that I wasn't even with him for like a day and a half yet, and he was already like fine with me. We were playing and he would talk to me and like just communicate with me, and the teacher saw like she had stayed in the program, and then she had seen how we communicate because we didn't have an aide for him, so the teacher just stayed to observe him, and she saw how we worked, and she really liked that. And she told me that I had a gift with children like him. At that moment, I just kind of knew that that's just what I wanted to be, a special ed teacher. I'm more interested in being more involved in educating myself more in ESL and bilingual education, even though I'm not going into that field, or not in that department, I should say. Even though I'm not pursuing that, I always want to try to incorporate what I have learned from this class to my students, especially the ones that want to learn a different language in the future. Have the tools that I can help start students with learning different languages. Even though, like I said, I was going for special ed, I can always encourage kids to try to be in that department, and if they want to learn different languages in the future, I can always encourage them to do that. Anyone that wants to learn a new language, is like, it's good for them to learn different languages, and if they want to learn, I would totally incorporate everything that I learned from this class and bring it to the department that I'm going to be working at. My goal is to finish school, being able to graduate with a degree in special education. I had a rough time in my life where I was not sure what I wanted. I didn't know if I wanted to continue school. I just had like a couple years of confusion and I didn't know what I want. If it was the best for me to continue to do school, but I knew that I had to at least try for myself to try to have something to look forward to. I felt like I should continue school, even though if I don't finish, I know that I at least tried. Like, my goal is to finish school, but sometimes you just don't know what happens in this world, and things happen and things can go a different direction. But my goal is to finish school, and I will finish school. Another goal that I have is to be the best I can be when it comes to teaching and to stay communicated with my students. The one thing I realized with all my classes and as a personal experience is that students should have a good relationship with their teacher, no matter who it is. Having that bond and connection with a student is very, 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 very important. And I truly believe that you should have a good communication with your students all the time, no matter what. That makes them feel they have someone to go to when they're at school and they feel safe. They know that they have someone that cares for them, not just at home, but they have someone that cares for them at school, where they are at, like 24/7 basically. You spend a lot of time with them. It's the best way to have a relationship because you're with them all day. They learn from you. And I don't want to fail them and myself. I want the best for them, help them achieve their goals, which is the most important part. They have goals as well as students. We as teachers should help them reach the goals that they want to accomplish. Thank you.